Cool. All right. Awesome. Welcome, guys. I've got Paul and Nikhil here from Team Tek N Rek. There is a pretty substantial Pokemon tournament coming up in Orlando, and I was going to ask them a few questions and see how they're feeling. So, how are you guys doing today?
Doing well. How about you?
I'm great.
Good.
Nikhil, how are you feeling?
Um, I'm good. A little tired, a little cold, but hanging in there.
All right. So what I was most interested in before this tournament is I'm not going to ask you about your personal decks because I know you don't want to give out any information. But what decks were you do you think you're going to be seeing? Because the new is the new set playable in this tournament? Will you be seeing some new things? And what were you most interested in playing against, or what do you feel like you're going to see a lot of at the tournament?
So I think the Crown Zenith set itself isn't a great set, but I think there's one card that's gonna totally just eliminate Mew VMX, and that's the Sky Sealstone. Because it's just so easy to tech in any deck that plays the Drapion V. You're one-shotting a Mew that with a Pokemon that you can bench that turn, and you don't need energy attachments as long as Path isn't in play. I honestly think just that one card from Crown Zenith, we'll probably see a lot of Mew VMAX, probably like 17, 18, sub 20% of the meta. But I think after this tournament, I think Mew just falls off. I think Mew or Drapion and Sky Sealstone is going to be the death of Mew.
I'm not going to Orlando, so I will totally leak whatever I was considering. But I mean, first of all, as Paul said, Crown Zenith was not like super impactful on the format. I think
like
there's
one or
maybe
two
three
cards.
cards. Yeah, like three cards is like the most I'd say that really is changing what we're seeing. But for the most part, we're gonna still see that like Lugia minimum 20% of the meta share. We're gonna see
Absolute. That's the
there's
floor.
no way we don't see that. However, Lugia is no longer the deck that myself, my group, and what I've been telling these guys to be afraid of. What I was kind of considering for this tournament is the Lost Zone stuff. So the Comfey, Cramorant, Sableye engine has become ridiculously strong, especially with the release of Crown Zenith. As Paul said, the new Sky Seal Stone lets you, attach to a V Pokemon and then take an extra prize off a V-Star or VMAX, which in this situation, it generally means putting it on that Drapion V. And hitting that weakness on Mew VMAX, taking 4 prize cards for 1 attack, which is pretty bonkers. That deck is going to probably see the second most play, and then my third most would again be Mew. I think that deck is still really strong. However, this format is going to be one that people aren't going to really try too hard on in my mind, because there are people that are going to 5 more regionals in this format before we have something different. It will almost be April. It will be April when we have our first event that has something different. So I don't think people are going to quite leak the sauce yet. I think they're going to save that for a bit bigger for tournament down the line, especially with the size of Orlando.
Yeah, I think with Orlando being, what is it, like 1,700 players, Nikhil?
We know there's 1,700 registered TCG players. We don't know how that breaks down.
Wild numbers. Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
It's all through TCG. It's not just Masters.
Yeah, I believe that's just the TCG numbers. And for reference, I believe that we are like, someone did the math and we might be like close to like 5 or 6 players away from like missing points in day 2, which is a pretty absurd number. There will be over 200 people in the second day of competition, which means it's going to be a grind to win this tournament.
And I think that actually allows a lot of fringe decks to shine. Mm-hmm. Like I think Vikavolt, I think it's a good call if you have the right list. I'm not sold on the Dactyl flavor of Vikavolt. I think just straight Vikavolt is probably better with like maybe like a Raikou tech, maybe something along those lines. I'm not sold on the Dactyl anymore, simply because of canceling clone existing in Lugia now.
Yeah, the Lugia players getting really smart with their Iridas or Skylas plus a canceling clone now.
And they're playing Professor Burnett now.
Yeah, so Paul definitely mentioned one of the decks that I think is Vikavolt's in a weird spot. We talked about this, and we felt that the Vika deck is like, it's very known, and it's now gotten first and second at 2 American events. However, there's not much you can really do about it. There's not like a specific card that every deck can play that just beats it, that you just kind of have to hope you can deal with it.
Yeah.
For the most part. Like Lugia has to take the L. Lost Box has to take a pretty rough matchup to it.
Lugia does not take the L anymore because it plays.
Now it doesn't. Now Lugia can play it, yeah. But Vikavolt one of those decks, and then I also think that Gudra is going to be. It got second and top 8 in Europe this past week. Um, Ridiculous showing from the deck. It's also super cheap. I think the whole thing is like not even $60.
Yeah, it's very cheap.
All right, so that's a good
So
entry deck.
definitely, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's a very good deck
And
for
it's good. It's good.
because a lot of people, this is their first tournament, right? Like that's usually how these big events go. Is the people that are filling up these spots aren't veteran players usually; they're more so the players that are getting into the game. And I think Gudra will like have a significant standing because if you're just going to your first regional, Gudra's fun. Gudra's pretty simple to play, and it's not over $100, which like I would not complain about that.
Yeah, the pricing on some of these cards, it's got to be putting people out of decks just on that alone.
Yeah.
So Nikhil, you said you didn't mind talking about it. What deck were you going to play? And you're not going, but
So
what are you running currently?
So it's always a mixed bag. Generally, especially for the Tek N Rek group, the thing that I try and preach the most to them is you do a lot better with a deck you know well than the deck you think is the best. Something you don't understand entirely, you're not going to get as far with it as something that you've played 100 games with. So for me, I would be playing some variant of Lost Box. I don't know exactly the 60 I'd be playing. The new Zamazenta from Crown Zenith is ridiculously strong. It gives you because the way that Lost Box loses to Lugia most often is early game Stoutlands. But with the Zamazenta card, you can easily one-shot that Stoutland in response. It was much more difficult to do that until this card came out. So there'd be something with that. My other testing group has a very spicy list being cooked up. I'm not going to leak their list.
Yeah,
They had some ideas. They had some cool ideas, I will say, and I'm not sure if they're playing it in Orlando. I kind of hope they do because it's really cool. But some variant with the Lost Box Mirage Gate combo, that might even be Gudra. Like, there is a world where I would have played Gudra just because I think that it's still in a very strong spot. I don't think it's respected enough. I think it's really strong. But something where you're, flower selecting and using Coral Resist Experiment would be 100% my play.
And Gudra doesn't really have like just a 1 or 2 card tech. Like you can tech for Lugia, you can tech for item lock, you can tech for all these other matchups. I don't think you can really tech for Gudra. It's just kind of like you just have to hit him hard and just hope it sticks.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a outright one card that you can play to beat Gudra. I think that's like the way you play it and kind of your approach that has to change. You would not catch me dead playing Lugia. I will tell you that right now.
Yeah, I did not have fun playing Lugia in San Diego. 3 mirrors and 4 rounds, I'm done, bud. It's over.
Lugia itself, it's fine. The mirror match, I've played a lot of mirrors in my time. Lugia mirror's got to be like the top 10 most unenjoyable Pokemon kit matches that I've ever played.
Yeah, if you slow down for 1 turn, it's over, and it's just not fun to play when you're not doing the thing.
Yeah. And that's also a part of it too. When you're in a tournament, obviously you're playing to win. But would you rather play a super techie game that you're more assured that you're going to win, or would you rather more have fun with your deck, or how do you guys build your decks?
That's a good question. It depends on where I am. Previous seasons, I would play the most try-hard thing that I could. Because if I was trying to get my Worlds invite, that's where I'd be going. Since Worlds isn't a place that I don't realistically think I can go to, which is Japan. If I was at a regional, it would not be something that I'm going to dread playing 9 rounds of Pokemon with. It'd be something I enjoy that I still think I can win with. But it'd be something more fun. I don't think it would be too crazy or too off the beaten path. That's why I love the Lost Zone deck. I think it's very fun. I think it's enjoyable. Hence why I would play probably that to a tournament.
The way I've been choosing decks lately is you got to figure out what like the top 3, 4, 5 decks are and play something that beats those, right? Like I played Lugia in San Diego, but I also thought like I could just run the table with Lugia, and that obviously didn't happen. But like at Peoria, where 3 of us in our group got points. All of us who played Kyurem, we just found a way to beat Mew and the Lost Zone stuff. We just found ways to beat that, and because again, there's not really a 1 card tech for Kyurem other than Path, really. But decks that play Path are just going to play Path for other matchups anyway. Play something that beats the meta, but without really being in that meta. So, like for me, if I were going to Orlando, I would be taking Radiant Eternatus because I think it can beat the top decks in the meta without being easily countered outside of Path to the Peak, which a lot of decks just already naturally play to begin with.
Super cool. This you guys are so awesome. I'm definitely gonna have you on again for a little longer interview. I really wanted to. I didn't expect you to go off as much as you did. Like, and it's all super interesting. Like, so it's great. But I am personally, and I'm just gonna throw this to you guys, a Galarian Berserker fan, so I think that no one sees that, and you guys should try to work something out with that. I just think it's the most metal card in Pokemon, and I'm down for it. But
Try to make it work.
just leaving off here. Just wanted to wish you guys a whole bunch of luck in the future. Unfortunately, you guys aren't traveling to Orlando, but I know the team Tek N Rek did send some players, so good luck to them. And is there anything where can we find you guys if you're on any socials or any sort of? Do you have any podcasts or anything like that? I don't know about it.
Yeah.
Where can we find you guys and also where can we get some games with you guys? What are your LGSs?
So I don't go to many local game stores anymore because I'm at college, but I am the league owner of the Ohio State Pokemon League. February 18th, we're hosting a Win-A-Box here, which I'm very excited about. If you want to find out any more of my Pokemon takes, they're not usually great, but they are takes for sure. Twitter, NK0HLI. You can also hopefully hear me back on the podcast, Lake of Rage, hosted by Kevin Clemente.
Very good
check
player.
that podcast out. Yeah, check that podcast out. We have great interviews all the time on there with some really notable players and characters from the community. It's been a good time. Thanks, Max.
I don't really have socials. I just choose not to partake. But you can always find me at VGMX Tuesday nights, 6 p.m. to close. Try to make it to be on the board in Dublin on Saturdays and the Warp Gate on Sundays.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate this. And again, good luck to Team Tek N Rek, and good luck to you guys and each of your individual endeavors. We will catch you guys next time. This has been Blaximus at VGMX, and we'll catch you all later.